Dungeon Fighter Online has long since been a favorite of mine in the genre. You can literally go back and look at any of my top MMORPG lists to see that. It's always had this really unique 2D retro theme aesthetic that I really enjoyed. It took me back to a time where I played literally nothing but side-scrolling brawlers just like this. Yet I have rarely covered it in any form, but that changes today as Mrs Stix and I have poured hours and hours of sweat and tears into providing you guys a look at how Dungeon Fighter Online is doing currently in 2020. Yeah, you guys are welcome. Before we go any further though, I do want to go ahead here and thank Dungeon Fighter Online for sponsoring this video. If you guys are interested in trying out the game, you can go ahead and click that link in the description or the pinned comment below to join us in game. Now, starting off, you will notice there are quite a few different classes to choose between, each having their very own unique backstory and classes associated with them. The agent, the priests, the demonic lancer, the slayers, the gunners, the mages, the knight, the fighters, the thief, the dark knight, and the creator. As is evident, various classes have both male and female class counterparts. You begin with an introduction to your character. Again, each character does have their very own unique storyline associated with them, which provides a lot of unique lore for those interested in each character's background. Typically, I gravitate towards the mage class. If you've been watching me for literally any length of time, you will know this. This time, however, I don't know. The Slayer class really called out to me. A hot, silver-haired, badass-looking samurai? I mean, hello? So I went Slayer, and I was not disappointed. If we disregard her dark past, well, if we disregard everyone's dark past, wait, hold on. Before we continue, does everyone have some kind of really traumatic past? Is that kind of why we've all come together as heroes? Are none of us here ready to ardently defend the innocent out of the goodness of our own hearts? I guess I'll take that awkward silence as an affirmation of my initial thoughts. Right, now where was I again? Oh yeah, if we disregard the Slayer's past, I was pleasantly surprised by how much fun she is to play with. I don't typically get much enjoyment out of playing as a melee class, but her flexibility, the style of her attacks, the speed, and the effects of her abilities, they are all incredibly high quality, and if you're a fan of large amounts of special effects flashing all over your screen, you're gonna love this. For me, it's kinda hit and miss. Sometimes it's handled really well, sometimes it isn't. In the case of DFO, since there really isn't a lot of clutter on the screen, I feel as though having a plethora of different special effects flashing all over your screen is kind of a positive. What makes it more fun though is when Mrs Stix, who I played with for most of our initial impressions this year, would use her own abilities in unison with mine. There were times when she'd look right at me and go, "Babe, I don't know where I am," or, "I thought I was you for a minute." Yeah. Now, combat itself is probably some of the best I have come across in a side-scrolling brawler like this. I played quite a few games in the vein of DFO, but as I've noted many times in the past, this is one of my favorite games of its type, and that is partially due to its combat. It's fast, it's fluid, and it's engaging, and each class feels unique, and let me tell you, there are a whole lot of classes to choose between. I know you've noticed that my character's changed outfits quite a few times over the course of the video, right? That is because not only is there quite a bit of customization when it comes to the physical appearance of your character, but also with regards to your skills. I let the game auto-allocate my skill points for me because, I mean, let's be honest here, it probably knows a better build than I do, right? But when it came to actually customizing the physical appearance of my character, both Mrs Stix and I had a ton of fun mixing and matching things to come up with something seriously awesome looking. I mean, just take a look at my girl right now. As noted initially, there were a handful of different classes. However, each class also has their own tree of additional advanced classes, providing like 700 total classes to choose from. Okay, maybe yes, 700 is a little bit of an over-exaggeration here, but at times it feels like there are more classes than you'd ever have the time to actually play. But in providing players with a surplus of classes like this, they give players an endless amount of freedom to play any way they want to, really. I guarantee you there's a combat style somewhere in this game that perfectly fits exactly what you're after. Magic, melee, tank, or DPS. Choosing your class is very important, as it will be the difference between being effective or ineffective when it comes to endgame content. I might not be a very good player, but I did tackle the Basement of Pain, the Black Shrine, and the Pit of Incarceration, 3 of the incredibly difficult endgame level 100 dungeons. These were substantially different to what I'd experienced up until that point, and I will admit, I was not prepared at all. While each area of the map was more difficult than the last, and I could technically complete them solo, I would strongly advise against actually doing so. I learned the hard way that going solo would take hours per dungeon, but I mean, there comes the appeal. Rarely do you have such difficult dungeons in games, and rarely are you forced to work together to overcome obstacles like this. And do not even get me started on the endgame Sirocco raid. I was tempted to try it out, but yeah, that just ain't gonna happen. Granted, this game is not going to be for everyone. At its core, Dungeon Fighter Online is a hub-based dungeon crawler. There are a variety of different quest hubs for players to navigate between. However, the bulk of the game does in fact take place within dungeons, hence its name. Dungeons are filled with a variety of different enemies and quite a few different bosses. These are also doable with groups of players, so you're not in any way required to go at it alone. But there isn't any type of open world. You can run around all of the different quest hubs, and let me reassure you, there are quite a few and they are very, very diverse. Talking to other players, socializing, buying and selling about what you'd normally do in an MMO. Thankfully, I'm a fan of these types of games. I love them and have loved them for the vast majority of my life, and DFO is one of the better ones out there, thus my constant inclusion of it in my top lists. Now, on November 17th, there was a large update that hit the servers. That update included quite a bit of content, including a brand new level up event allowing players to reach level 100 in no time at all. You also receive a full set of level 100 legendary gear, fragmented abyss gear, and a plus 12 reinforced epic weapon. I actually equipped myself in some pretty sick gear, which made later game content, specifically the endgame dungeons, much easier to run and much more manageable overall. The update also brought with it the Neo Awakening of the Male Priest, the Neo Crusader, Neo Monk, Neo Exorcist, and Neo Avenger. There will be additional events taking place over the course of the next month or so if you've been delaying either coming back to the game or you have just yet to even try the game out, this is your opportunity. We have a coupon code available for players that want a unique outfit that is redeemable all the way through December 15th. All you need to do to redeem this is to log into the game, navigate on over to the coupon book, and type in 2020 welcome to DFO. The exact code in specific will actually be included in the description below. Ultimately, I have always had a very soft spot for Dungeon Fighter Online. This is a game that I always see myself coming back to, and there is definitely a reason for that. It's fun. It's a good quality game. It is a game that I have always enjoyed, and I will continue to enjoy moving into 2021. But this is my opinion, my impressions of the game. What do you guys think? Have you played it? Do you enjoy it? Do you still enjoy it? Let me know down in the comments below and let's talk about it. Anyway, guys, that is it for me. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you guys next time.
Someday soon I'm gonna make it. Yeah, all hard work's gonna be